wind is whipping out here.
Major flooding.
What made our 2009 team so special was we were playing for the city of New Orleans. What they went through with Hurricane Katrina, and we just wanted to do our part. Now, that didn't just happen in 2009. That started in 2006, where we started to lay out the foundation.
We won this thing together as a team, baby. That's how we do it.
Building that really helped us to become great.
Here's a run left side, and it's Reggie Bush breaking free. Bush to the 30, 25-20, bye-bye birdies.
We ran the ball real well that year.
The #1 offense in the NFL in the regular season.
We took the ball away defensively more than anyone in the league.
They cover it up for the touchdown.
We were balanced. We won 13 games in a row.
Pitch back, flea flicker, Breeze loads and locks it and throws it downfield, and it is caught for the touchdown. What an effort by the New Orleans Saints, still undefeated.
09 was really good, like really good.
This is the biggest sporting event in the history of New Orleans.
Let's go to the Super Bowl, boys, right here.
This will be a 40-yard field goal attempt, right hash mark. It is good! It's good!
We had to battle this a little bit. We're going to the Super Bowl, but that's not good enough. It's only going to be special if we win it. Peyton and those guys, they were playing so well.
Manning throws into the end zone. Garcon, touchdown.
We were trying to find maybe an onside kick for us to steal a possession.
So the Saints will kick it away, trailing 10-6. It's an onside kick, and it's going to be covered up by Chris Reese, I believe.
Right ball.
Breeze, here's the throw to Shockey, and it's a touchdown. Manning in the shotgun puts Collie in motion, looks in his direction, he's picked off! It's Tracy Porter again! He's running free! It is a Saint touchdown! The miracle in Miami has happened.
Obviously a special moment. We were a good team. I'm glad we made your top 100.
When you look at great teams in the history of the league, our 90 team was part of that. We were just such a physical team, and I think that made the difference.
They were not a great offensive team. They were a very good defensive team.
Throws tipped high, intercepted by Taylor, he'll score!
They created a tremendous value in special teams, and that's how they were a great team that year.
He might go, one man to stop him, the kicker. He's by the kicker, he'll score!
68-yard return.
We lost our starting running back and our starting quarterback that season, but we were resilient. We were that team that was not to be denied.
Hostetler, touchdown! Got one more? One more. Nobody thinks we can win, you know. Try to take. They're gonna give us a chance in this one.
The Giants knew going out to Candlestick that year that they were facing the best 49ers team of all time. They weren't good enough to play toe-to-toe offensively with that great Niners team, but they definitely were good enough defensively, and they were much better on special teams.
Fake punt, and it's going to work. It's Reason.
That's the play they needed. They needed something to get them out of this.
It could be an eternity for Matt Barr if he should miss, and he'd never know he got on the airplane if he makes it. And the kick is good. There will be no three-peat.
I don't care how well they played on defense against the Niners.
Welcome to Super Bowl 25, the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants.
I just didn't think the Giants would be able to stay with them and to be able to slow them down. It proves what happens when you build a full and complete team. You can beat the all-powerful great 49ers and one of the best offenses ever to take the field in the NFL, the Buffalo Bills.
The Giants win their second Super Bowl.
I think history shines on that team.
And the Dolphins not excelled in so far. They've done just everything that could be asked of a football team.
The question is, do I think my team is better than it was a year ago? There's no question about it. I think that we're a better football team than we were a year ago at this time.
To me, the team in 1973 was better than the 1972 team. 72, we won a lot of close games. In 1973, we blew people out every week.
It looks as though everything's going right for Miami right now, and this is quite a machine to watch work.
I'm only interested in helping this team get back to the Super Bowl, which is our main goal.
Victory Mars into the end zone for a touchdown.
We were 32-2 in 2 years.
And now, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Miami Dolphins, about ready to kick off Super Bowl 8.
Crazy hands off the dunk, heading right side, touchdown, Larry Zonka.
Intercepted, Curtis Johnson.
The Dolphins have now established superiority in this game. Parkinson, he's being pursued by Fernandez, and he is dragged down. The Miami Dolphins are the champions of the pro football world. They have won the Super Bowl for the second time running, only the second team ever to do that.
The Chiefs team is not viewed in the same way as some of the other dynasties because they only won the one Super Bowl. But that was a great defense. Joe Green of the Steelers was at Super Bowl IV, and he said that was the defense the Steelers were trying to emulate.
I was 8 years old, and I grew up in Leavenworth, Kansas, which is about an hour from Kansas City. But my father was a just dedicated Kansas City Chiefs fan.
Dawson at quarterback.
Their year, 1969, Hank Stram.
Come on, Lenny! Pump it in there, baby!
Lenny Dawson.
We put things together to kill these guys.
The defense, to end all defenses, Buck Buchanan and Bobby Bell.
Did he get creamed by Aaron Brown?
We've chased that from, we've chased him into the end zone how many times?
Even we made up this little song, Brown and Bell and Buck Buchanan, and we're singing all the names. And I remember singing with my mother. And it was the year I started getting interested because my parents were so animated every Sunday. And I remember the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl IV.
What a moment for all of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're beating the best that the NFL has to offer out here today. 65 torch power trap. That might pop wide open, Red.
Running play coming to Garrett on a trap. Touchdown! Garrett scores for the 5.
Yes, sir, boys!
And the team wins. And it's a resounding win. It's 23-7.
That's it! Yeah! Dude, that's it, boys! That's it!
It was one of the first times that my whole family was together. My mother was kind of quiet otherwise, but this was something that she got in with. And when we won, my father gave me pots and pans and said, go out in the yard, and car horns were honking, and we were all making noise because we just won the world championships, you know, the Super Bowl. It just seared into me from that moment on. I will be a Kansas City Chiefs fan for life.
What you got out there, Rams?
I cut.
Okay. That's the way it was, ladies and gentlemen, 1958.
Okay.
The Baltimore fans, among the most partisan anywhere, have snapped up every ticket offered, and Baltimore's Memorial Stadium begins to fill up.
I grew up in Annapolis, so the Baltimore Colts, they were kind of the local team. My dad knew some of them, got to know and interact with some of their players, some of the people on their staff.
The Colts are ready for action, and here's how they did on the field.
You go back to 1958, and really, it all started with Johnny Unitas.
The Colts are back on the attack in the second period. Unitas pops a pass to Raymond Berry.
My dad always said that Johnny Unitas had the best wide receiver in football.
There comes that great pass receiver, Raymond Berry. But the day that none of us will ever forget was Sunday, December the 28th.
It's the Colts against the New York Giants for the World Championship of Professional Football.
3.5. You know, I don't remember terribly much about the game itself. More than anything, I remember.
Never before in the history of the National Football League has there been an extra period.
It was the first time I heard this term, that it was sudden death overtime.
It's 3rd and 1 yard to go for the championship. United gives Luigi. The Colts are the world champions.
Well, my father was very demonstrative about his football, and so I remember him throwing his hands in the air and laughing and being so happy.
What a clutch comeback by the Baltimore Colts.
It was really a good group of men that I thought represented the game and the city well, and I was proud of the Baltimore Colts.
Our old conference joined the NFL, I think we would have played for a keg of beer, me in my case a chocolate milkshake, or anything just to prove we had a good football team.
So, the 1949 Browns were awesome, but they were in the All-American Football Conference, which was a completely different league. After 1949, the leagues made peace. The Cleveland Browns joined the NFL.
The coaches and the players were ready for the season ahead. The Browns' first year in the National Football League. The Browns opened their season against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia.
The Cleveland Browns play the Philadelphia Eagles, who had won the NFL championship the year before. They dominated.
And with some 71,000 in attendance, most of them National League fans of former years, the Browns had shocked the professional football world with a rude 35-10 jolting to the Eagles.
The NFL championship was a couple months later against the Rams, and this was considered one of the greatest games in the history of football. The Browns get the game-sealing interception. The game is over. The Browns, in their first season in the NFL, are NFL champions.
It was 1969, and if you lived in New York, in and around New York, it was great to be a sports fan. You had the Miracle Mets, you had the Knicks, and of course, we had Joe Namath and the Jets. And that's when I realized that I wanted to be a professional football player.
Got to have confidence in your team, got to have confidence in yourself, and if you don't have that confidence, you can't play football.
We're talking about the height of the turbulent 60s. You looked at the Colts with their crew cuts, and they all seemed to represent the establishment. Then you look at the Jets and, you know, Joe Willie with his long hair and hitting all the nightclubs of New York.
You know, they would struggle with the not-so-good teams, and they beat the good teams. But here's what they had. Joe already, you know, by the time it was 68, his knees weren't great. But he could go back. Okay, straight back, 10, 11 yards. The pocket used to be 7 or 8. So he could find Maynard and Sauer and Lamons and maybe the backs, Emerson, Boozer, Matt Snell. It's not like they scored 45 points a game necessarily, but they had an offense in which a 20-yard pass was a big part of the game. And so you never felt you were out of the game with the Jets. So they were solid everywhere, and a Hall of Fame coach in Weeb Eubank. It was just a nice mix. That was the AFL. We were throwing the ball.
Namath looking for the end zone, throwing touchdown to Maynard. The Jets have won the American Football League championship.
The Baltimore Colts are heavier favorites to win this Super Bowl game in pro football's family feud. He's in there, third fourth. That's the 4th interception. Sports' greatest in history. The New York Jets are the world champions.
They had then done something that many thought could not be done.
The fact that the Jets were able to defeat a team as powerful as the Baltimore Colts of that year really transformed the landscape of the NFL.
'93, the locomotive was coming down the track, baby.
Aikman straight drop, sets, deep ball, left side, wants it all. It's caught at the 5, and who do you think it is? Michael Irvin.
We had will, skill, and everything, and we knew this was going to be the reality, and nobody could stop it.
It was a really satisfying season, especially the way the year began.
I missed the first 2 games of the season, and no team in the NFL history ever started a 1-2 and made it to the Super Bowl.
Throws, and it's broken up and intercepted.
You know, to start the year going 0-2, and Emmett was in the middle of a holdout.
Sorry, got in the season a little bit late.
But I think we can put this thing together and go on and win it all.
Then to have to be able to put together a run like we did late in that season in order to secure home field advantage throughout.
He's got the 50, he's got the 40, he's got the 20, Eric Allen takes it to 5, 62-yard touchdown. Hey, we're going number 2, baby.
Here we are again, the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. Kelly with a shovel pass to Thomas and fumble! Aikman drawn to Smith, tackled but breaks away to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Emmitt Smith.
2 in a row. How sweet it is.
Cowboys back-to-back in the house. Yeah.
Winning my first Super Bowl was total excitement. Winning the second Super Bowl, it was more of a relief than anything else.
The best team out of the championship teams that I played on, the '93 Dallas Cowboys.
This was the first year that I wasn't a cheerleader anymore. So this was the first year that I became a season ticket holder. I was a diehard fan. No one picked us for anything that year.
The greatest single-season defense in the history of the National Football League makes that a pretty special team.
What we did defensively, my goodness. We turned into these bullies. We're tough. We were tough.
Right, it's up to us to go out and win this game.
This was one of the most dominant defenses in the history of the game.
Minus yard. Throws underneath and it's picked off. That's the way to do it. Relentless.
A lot of people forget that we had, during the middle of the season, we had lost 4 out of 5 games. We went a month without scoring offensive touchdown.
We can't block. We're going to take a knee every snap.
Brian Billick gets no credit, but he should. He made a gutsy move. He benched the starting quarterback.
You knew they were coming. Just deliver it to him, Tom. We got to let Trent try to do something here now. Okay, we got you, Tom.
Trent, beautiful. Well, I'll be. Let's go, Trent.
You know, Trent might not have been great, but he was good enough.
Dilfer rolling out to his right, looking, throwing, touchdown, Patrick Johnson.
Man, Titans are the NFL's best team.
Maybe they are, but not today.
We went in as the wild card. We weren't the division champions.
Hey, come on. Scotty Sharp, touchdown! Throws underneath, and it's picked off. Ray Lewis has the ball. Ray Lewis, the defensive player of the year in the NFL, sealed the deal for the Ravens.
Man, the time is here. It's time to go to a Super Bowl.
Pack your bags, Baltimore. The Ravens are going to the Super Bowl.
Get off the field.
This was a once-in-a-generation, maybe once in a history of the league type of defense.
Slant over the middle, picked up by Dwayne Starks. He's got a touchdown. Yeah! Jermaine Lewis goes all the way. Oh, my God!
If you ever wanted to break down how a team is supposed to ride together, that was the team to pay attention to. I learned the most about that team of what a brotherhood really is.
A lot of people have said that the Patriots are lucky, but I honestly believe that old phrase of what luck is, right? It's when opportunity meets preparation. They then mix that up with massive amounts of creativity and the types of plays that they do, how unpredictable they are.
And the Patriots' sheer domination continues.
It's a story of never giving up, of having a relentless work ethic. Our coaches had great plans, guys made plays. That was the cool thing about this team this year.
Now that is the #1 seeded offense that I've been watching all year.
One more means an NFL record. 9th trip to the Super Bowl. Backs up, bouncing on his feet. Looks down the middle, throws down the middle. Touchdown, Edelman! Hell of a job, man. One more, coach. One more.
8:31 to play in the third. Atlanta 28, New England 3.
We were celebrating like third quarter, the Atlanta fan just make your chest stick out. It's the Patriots.
Let's start showing some fight.
Suddenly, there's a little glimmer of hope.
Backs up, looks left, throws it for Amendola. Touchdown, Patriots!
I don't know how that happened. How they just go like that, back, take the ball, score. Brady is the issue.
And it's a one-score game. Brady throws down the middle for Edelman. Ball's tipped, and Julian diving for it. Gotta believe, boys.
The team was just on some, I can't believe that happened. No.
Tom hands it to White, up the middle, touchdown Patriots!
And now the biggest two-point attempt in the history of the Patriots franchise.
57 seconds to go, a 2 for the tie. Tom takes the snap, quick throw to Amendola, screen left, reaches across the goal line. It's a tied game in Super Bowl 51.
Let's go score and win this thing, baby.
Toss sweep right for James White, tucks it under the right arm, cuts it upfield, driving forward, diving to the goal line, a touchdown, and a title for the Patriots! They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.